So I'm Pat Campanero. I'm one of 4 death doulas here in Cook County. Our names are on the screen, but I'm going to ask everyone to just spend a minute to introduce themselves, and I'm going to start with the woman with the red glasses on.
Hi, I'm Suzanne Sherman, and what do you want me to say?
Oh, don't open that line to me.
I'm in my field, but I also work with care partners as a care coordinator, so it's good. Oh, so good to have you here.
Right. Nancy.
I'm Nancy Larson, and I'm actually the fifth death doula, and my name is on there, and I have nothing to do with this fabulous presentation. I'm here in support in my own learning and growth.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jean.
Oh. I thought we were going around. I'm Jean Skeels. I am also one of the death doulas, and this particular presentation is part of my heart. I feel so strongly that the best remedy to have our best death is to live our most vibrant, biggest, fullest life. And so that's what we're here to do.
That's our goal today.
And she has a book coming out about it.
And I'm working on a book. I'm working on it.
Okay, you can move me. All right, I want to welcome everybody again, and to make sure everyone understands, today is really about you. It's not about us, it's not about the crowd as a whole, it's about you individually, so that you can clearly start thinking, if you haven't already, and I would say that I'm one that hasn't already, about how to live the rest of my life to make myself and my family and friends be fulfilled in a lot of different ways. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to do a lot of journaling, a lot of thinking, a lot of experiential type activities. This is not your typical workshop, and I want you, as we go through this, if anybody's got any questions or any comments or is lost, to let us know, because we're here to make sure everyone gets the most that they can out of this presentation. So I'm really excited that you're here. I'm glad to know all of you. We've seen each other many times, so welcome, and I'm going to turn this over to June.
I'll let you do the slide. Hi, everybody. So a slide is going to come up here in just a moment. As death doulas, we'll start there with the fact of our mortality. And there's a woman from Australia whose name is Bronnie Ware, who did a lot of caregiving for people at end of life in Australia and ended up writing a book based on common experiences that she encountered with the people that she worked with, which is the top 5 regrets of the dying. And why would we want to think about these when we're at a program talking about living our best life? Well, as I just said, the remedy for this is to really intentionally and consciously live our lives and live them out loud and live them as only we can, because we're all unique individuals and we're all needed here. But the top regrets, so you can consider these. 1, I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. So just take a moment and think about that. Are you living out of obligation, what you think you should be doing, rather than, I would dream of this, or I would love to do that? 2, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. And I will add that this one was a 100% positive for all men. All the men that she worked with identified this. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. Work is good and work can be really fulfilling, but are we having that in balance with the other thing? 3, I wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings.
I think I'd add true to that statement.
True.
True feelings.
Your true feelings. Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, expressing our feelings. Some people find that very easy, but clearly it was a common thread. People wish they would have said the things. And I think a lot of times what that ends up being is with our family and close people saying the I'm sorry, or I love you, or those things that come deeply from the heart. So make sure you're saying them, say them today. I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. I'll say it on a personal note, this one very much impacts me. I've moved a lot. For the last 22 years, I have moved and moved and moved. And I've lost touch with friends from my hometown of Milwaukee, and then I've lost touch with friends that I made here and there. So depending on your lifestyle, this one may or may not be highly relevant to you, but it is to me. And you can always reach back out to those people, by the way, and right now with our social networking abilities, wow, we can like reach back and find people that, like, if this was 10, 15 years ago, it would have been really challenging. So we have a gift now that we can do that. 5, I wish I had let myself be happier. Yeah, and just consider that we can let ourselves be happy. It's a powerful thing, that it's a choice and it can come from within us. So, any questions about that? Comments, inquiries? No? So we're going to enter into an experiential visualization, but there was a slide right at the beginning that said, what do you want to do with your wild and precious life? And I want to read just a few extra lines from that before I begin this visualization with you. And it's a poem by Mary Oliver. She says, I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel down in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I have been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? So we're going to explore that. If you haven't done meditation or visualization before, be at ease. It's all going to be great and well. Before I have you close your eyes, I just want to explain to you how we're going to enter this meditation, because there is a little bit of movement involved. And it's just with your head. I'll be having you close your eyes and I'll show you what this looks like. So it's all very comfortable and you don't feel like you have to open your eyes to see me. The movement is this, making a circle, not this kind of circle, just a circle here with your nose, or you can think of making it with the center of your brow, which in yoga we think of as a gateway to deep wisdom. So you're drawing a circle. You're going to draw a circle. You're going to breathe. And then we're going to make it into a spiral. So you're spiraling in and it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Does that make sense? Then, this is the challenge. We're going to go the other direction. So you'll come back to that bigger circle, and then you're going to make it smaller and smaller and smaller again. And at that point, you'll land in stillness, and I'm going to lead you through a guided visualization of your best, most joyful, fulfilled, enthusiastic life. Yay?
Yay.
Now's the time. Yes. All right, so find a comfortable seat, step 1. Feet on the ground if you can, sit bones planted in your chair. And begin with closing your eyes and sensing the truth, and I'm telling you this is true, that you are fully and deeply supported in all moments, in every moment, including this one. You're supported by Earth. And now find the true and deep support of your breath that's always here, it's always moving in and out, the life force that you carry, that we all carry. It is true, all of us breathe. Relax your face, your jaw, relax your mind, and know that throughout this meditation, thoughts might come in. Don't judge them, simply see them and let them go. As you breathe in and out through your nostrils now, in that space of ease and release, begin to draw a slow, easy circle with your nose or the center of your brow, and let that circle begin to release any residual tension in your jaw, eyes, brow, and your mind. And this circle that you're drawing is a circle of openness, joy, love, fulfillment. It releases all doubt and obstacles to your limitless nature. Continue to breathe. And now make that into a spiral. At your own pace, let that spiral get smaller and it carries you in and in and in. And when that spiral becomes almost stillness, reverse the direction with as much ease as you can and come back to a circle. That bigger defining energy that now invites in vitality, play, passion, enjoyment, all of those things. Invite them in the circle and breathe. And then with a seamless change, let it become a spiral that again invites you, leads you into your own heart center where there is profound wisdom, grace, and compassion. All those things are waiting for you there. And this time, let that spiral become stillness and enter that still heart space where you know you fully and completely with deep love and care. Continue to breathe. And now we're visualizing your best life, not somebody else's. So open your heart and your mind to what is my best life? Joyful, open, free. In that life, as you breathe now, notice your body. What does your body feel like? How does it move? How does it rest? To notice your body. Observe, what does this body love to see? Look around, what does this body love to see? What does it long to hear? Music, voices, silence. What does it love to smell? To touch? Taste? Feel? Continue to breathe and be open. Stay with the body and now visualize your health. What does health feel like to you in this life? For a few more breaths, notice everything you can about your body. In this full, vibrant, joyful life. Now shift your attention to notice your home environment. How does it look? How does it feel? Where is it? Is it in a city, in this forest, by the ocean, in a desert? Where is it? What does it feel like? What do you touch, smell, taste? Use all of your senses to, in your mind, create this perfect, most supportive, beautiful home that you live in. When you feel complete, take all the time you need, we'll be moving our attention onto relationships. Do you have a partner? Or are you single? What does that look like? Feel like? How are you supported? Notice family. What family is near or far? Who are you drawing towards yourself? Where is there perhaps things to be said or amends to be made to create more happiness, more freedom, more joy in your family? Notice friends, ones that are here now, ones that perhaps you want to reconnect with. Even imagine friends who you don't know yet. What does your circle of friends in this best life look like? Is it a big group? Is it just a few or one? This is yours. Notice the work you do or don't do. What does that work or service feel like in your best life? How is it balanced? What does nourishing work and service mean in this life? Finally, notice play, creativity, adventure, new things. One wild and precious life. What would be wild, unthinkable, out there, the thing you want to do, but perhaps you think, oh, not me. That's for somebody else. No, bring it to yourself. Sky's the limit. And I'm going to leave you for a few more breaths to look at all of these things, go back to the one that you wanted to spend more time, or maybe there's some other thing I haven't mentioned that comes calling to you to bring into your life. Just breathe for these few moments of silence. Draw all of this deeply into your heart, your wild and precious and beautiful life. Take 3 more breaths, knowing that this isn't just a visualization, it's not some exercise you did, but it is the doorway to manifestation and creation. There's power in this. And after those breaths, feel your feet again on the floor in this room, in this moment, in this beautiful life that we're already sharing right now. And you can blink your eyes open when you're ready. And we're going to give you now an opportunity to journal about what you just visualized. So you should have some paper and pen. We're going to give you between 5 and 7 minutes. We'll be watching to see when heads pop up and you're feeling complete, but we'll give you lots of time. And then we're going to do some sharing.
You'll find a blank sheet behind the worksheet, and you can certainly use that. You can certainly use that, or you can use the back of any of the paper that you have with you right now.
Are there any questions before we give you the right?
How about online? Anyone have a question?
No questions yet?
Okay. For me, this is always a work in progress. It's never going to be one and done. And so for some of you, this might be the very first time you're thinking about this. For others of you, this might be something old hat and you have your path defined and you're working on it. So there's a mix of people here on Zoom and there's a mix of people here in the room. And I'm wondering if anybody would care to share their thoughts about what we're doing, or perhaps, most importantly, some of the things you might have written down, it's not bad, written down about where your path will take you. So is there anyone online or here in the room that would like to share a thought or two with the group? know it's scary.
Don't be shy.
Anyone online?
It's pretty private stuff, I get that.
I'll share.
Okay, great.
Sharing. I love this activity. I think this is great. I've done different things, but I love the way that, that Jean led us through the visualization. It's really nice to think of all the different parts of life. And to me, the one thing that just kind of popped up for across all the different ones is two things, just to slow down and really be present. Sometimes I feel like I should, and all the shoulds, you start shooting on yourself, it's not good. I should spend more time with my grandchildren, or I should spend more time with my parents. And maybe instead of that, just when I'm with them, I'm just making sure that I'm really present and not thinking about a million other things or trying to rush through things. So that's kind of the theme that's all about for me, is just slowing down and being present and listening.
Sometimes in this world, it's hard to do that.
Yes.
We're all moving at warp speed with way too much news, with way too much social media, with way too much everything. So thanks for sharing. That's a really good point. Suzanne, you want to talk?
What comes to me, has been coming to me is to be in the moment. And, like when I'm in the bathroom getting dressed, I'm putting on socks and being there, I'm trying to really place myself doing socks and the foot. And be gratitude for my body. Yeah, I mean, I've been, and this helps with that too. I like the visualization in this thing.
I think it's really important to think about ourselves. I think we think about others way more than we think about ourselves. And the reason we're doing this today is because it's time to think about ourselves and put ourselves first, which is hard, and which is some things that some of us at my age weren't taught to do. I was taught to think about other people, take care of other people, do things for other people, and I enjoy all of those things. I don't have a problem with any of them. But when I'm now entering the last quarter of my life, I say to myself, what about me? And then I push it aside because it's not important, but it is really important. So that's why we're here today. So one last chance to share, otherwise we're going to move on here.
Well, I could make a comment, just one, it brought up a lot of emotions, tears leaked out, but just paying attention to what I am doing that fits into some of what you were saying. And then one of the things I wrote down is doing, is like, I know some of the steps I can take to get to some of the places that the visualization led me to, or the things I saw. It's like, well, yeah, but it isn't impossible to get there. There are steps people can take now. Yeah.
I would
thank you.
just add, and I think this is an important thing that you just said that sparked for me, is that this wasn't about that you don't already have any of this. You can ground into, like, there's probably a lot of stuff that in this visualization was like, oh, it's here and now. Like, I like this. I want to keep this part. Or like, where could I go with it? So it's not about reinventing the wheel. It's about being where you are and then like seeing, wow, like what other avenues could this go? Or I already have this thing and I just want to do it more. Like, I love making pottery, for example. I'd love to do more of that. Again, how does that, like, how do I make some shifts so that I'm doing more of this thing I already do? So it can be stuff you already have. Yeah. Yes.
So when you're doing that, the one thing that came to my mind about, and it's about freedom, is running naked on a beach.
We can go do that right now.
I'm running naked on a beach, not here, guys.
It's too cold.
Naked into the water. That is a form of freedom, and that it's just an example of freedom. And my partner can do that with ease. And I don't. And I thought, next time, we're somewhere, I'm just gonna do that.
Okay, we have different ideas about freedom.
Well, it just is a metaphorical, yeah.
So I'm also going to share one other thing that's personal about visualization. For those of you who aren't familiar with it or are a little bit leery of it, I'll have to tell you a personal story. Because I thought it was all woo-woo before I started this death doula role and I met Jean. And I thought, it's great for some people, but it's not good for me. I don't need that stuff. I'm just fine where I'm at. And so I started learning very basic yoga and doing these centering exercises. And we do them with every meeting we have, with every workshop we do, because what I have found personally is that it makes a huge difference. This whole concept of breathing 3 times before you jump into anything or before you say what you think is going to not be what you want to say really puts you into a good space. So I suggest you try it. I tried it and I love it. And if it's not something you're comfortable with, try a little yoga, try this method because it made a difference to me. So I just share that. Okay, we're going to move on here. And the next section is going to be, we need you to move up here. Sorry. No, that's all right. Oh, I just want to chat a little bit about this time to journal stuff. We put these really odd little things up here so that you realize journaling doesn't have to be in a book. It doesn't have to be in a spiral notebook. It can be on random sheets of paper that you keep in a folder. It can be art. You could draw what you're thinking on in visual and visualize it. But journaling and writing down your thoughts and being able to go back and see them and see if you've made some progress is something that I found really helps as well to move forward. So that's why you have these pictures up there. You know where to move? Okay. So now we're going to look at the worksheet. And you have that in your packet. And what we're asking you here is to take a look at this worksheet, thinking about what you've just visualized, what you've just written, thinking for those of you who had a chance to do the VS strength exercise, thinking about what you learned there. We're going to ask you just to do some quick notes on this sheet so that you have a guide when you're home and you can't remember what we did here or what you're thinking about. You've got some notes on what you're wanting to do to make your life the best you can live. So if you did VS strengths, you can write down what your profile was in the top. If you didn't do the VS strength exercise, you know your strengths probably pretty well. Jot down 2 or 3 of your strengths that you're really proud of.
So
What is the VS strength exercise?
Okay, so there's a vsstrengths.org, and it has a survey you can take that tells you your strengths. It takes about 10 minutes to do. So if you didn't do it before, you can go home and do it. And it's an interesting tool. So for example, my top strengths are appreciation of beauty and excellence. My top. Honesty, love of learning, judgment, and curiosity. But there's like 24 of them, and it just lists them in order for you, like your highest strengths down towards ones that maybe aren't.
They put you through a profile,
Yeah.
and you answer a lot of questions.
Were we supposed to do that? I sent it in
Put it in an email.
It's okay.
It's all right.
It's fine. You can do it
It's something
later.
you can do later, and it can help you build on this. But as we were talking about, for instance, my top 5 strengths are zest, hope, appreciation of beauty and excellence, social intelligence, and honesty. And then I have my other 24 as well. But what this document also does then is take each of these strengths and gives you an understanding of what they mean or could mean, or how they should be, or how you could apply them. But let's not worry too much about this if you didn't do it. Let's think individually about what your strengths are, what you believe your strengths are, or what people have told you is a strength of yours. For instance, they might have told you, you are really honest and I appreciate talking to you. Or you really exude love and you tell me that you love me and that makes me feel good. You're going to, you know your strengths. We don't articulate them often, but in your heart of hearts, dig into your heart of hearts, you know what they are. So I jot down 2 or 3 of your strengths. And then in the next section of this worksheet, jot down how you are right now visualizing your best life. Who are you with? What are you doing? Where are you? When is this going to happen? And then answer the last question, are you living it now? So that's what we're going to do right now. It's just a quick exercise. We're not going to take a lot of time, like 3 minutes, just to get you started on this, because this is going to be homework. This is going to be something, if you want to live your best life, you're going to start doing now and keep doing.
And you can start thinking about what are some action steps I could start taking today? And how do I leverage my strengths to do those action steps? Yeah. And it doesn't need to be big, grand leaps, just something small.
Yeah, like not telling your partner you hate, no.
And what strength will you leverage?
There's some honesty, no.
I will also send out the handouts to you again after this, so if you wanted to create a new one when you get home, you could have a new fresh one to start out with too.
Thank you, Kelsey. So just jot down a few ideas right now.
You know,
Yes.
that testing, at the end,
The,
it wanted you pay for stuff.
okay, you have to follow certain prompts because there is this box that says free and you have to click on the one that says free.
Because I
So
mean,
like
it
I'm
gave
on the
me
free.
a few things, but then it wanted me to.
Part of we really want to do the top 5 because we didn't
Yeah.
expect you to pay for it, but if you want to pay for it, it gives you more.
So if you get to the right spot where it's free, this is actually what it says. Your free results, and then it actually does give me all of my top strengths, my middle strengths.
Yeah, okay, I must have just.
So
It is tricky.
Roll
You
fire.
have to find the little box that says free.
Okay, I'll do that. But
Yeah.
So can I get back to that if I did it, because I didn't go farther
yes, go ahead.
with it, because I got hit the page
Jean?
thing.
What's that?
Can I get back to it without having to do the profile
Yeah,
again?
because you would have created an account to take the test, I think, and you'll just
Okay.
log in, and then you just have to find the spot where it says, get my free. It's a little fast. It says free.
What is the application?
It's viacharacter.org/surveys.
I will send it again as a follow-up.
Okay.
email to you.
And you see via on your worksheet, so it's via character.org.
Yeah, laughter is good medicine all the time.
So let's not stress on it. Let's just think about what am I good at? And how is that playing into what my visualization is right now as my best life?
Yeah.
So just a couple of minutes. We're going to have a little chance to expound on this in a few more slides. Okay, you've got a picture of what you believe are your strengths and what people have told you are your strengths or what you know internally are your strengths. You've got a picture of what that best life should, would, could, will look like. And you've got a time on the bottom that says I'm starting it. What's the time here? At 12:20 today. But put a timeline on it. And one more time, if anybody would like to share a thought here, we'd be happy to have you do that and let the rest of us affirm that, yeah, you're on track, man.
I know, I feel a big unknown about something. Like, is this it or is this more? Where should I make the, like, it's like I want to do this at, if you're in college, let's say we're at the 101 level, I'm not insinuating that, but I want to go to the 500 level and have somebody really push me.
Accountability is a really big piece to many of our lives, and from my helping small businesses start, that's probably the best thing I do is hold them accountable. So what you might want to do, if that's important to you, is find a partner. Find someone you can share this with and let them know what it is you want to happen, and then check in with them. Because that's a really good point, Kim. Accountability is something we grew up to almost need. I think.
Well, we do. I think we do need it. We get motivation and accountability. There's, yeah, when we're not just doing it on our own and we have an investment in somebody else and we're helping each other or yeah, somebody to check in with, it is a motivator.
And I love your analogy of 101, because that's about where we're at, is on level 1 here. We have to start somewhere and we have to start with the basics. Some of these are going to resonate really well with you. Some other things you're going to think about on your own and you're going to add that in. And then you move to the next step. And in my world, in doing this, the next step is actually doing something. Saying I'm going to go on that retreat, that silent retreat, and spend 3 days thinking about myself or thinking about whatever I'm thinking about during that retreat. Or I'm going to, do something that moves me toward what's going to make me happy and what's going to make me leave behind a bunch of happy people who know me and love me.
And remember that regret. I wish I would have let myself be happier. And I don't know, an Indigo Girls song just popped into my head, so I'll just say there's a line, I don't even know what song it is, and it did just pop into my head, but it's like, the greatest gift you ever gave to me was to teach me to take my life less seriously. It's only life after all. So, like, I think there's a lot about managing, like, expectations, managing disappointment, because those things happen. And how do we, like, let ourselves be happy? And I love that you're just letting it happen, because we can get really wrapped up in, it should have turned out this way and it didn't, or I tried this and it didn't go the way I wanted it to, or I said the thing to that person and they didn't give me what I needed in return. And those things are going to happen. And in the midst of that, we could still let ourselves be happy.
So I'm going to give you a really small thing that I've done in the last 6 months that have made a big difference to me, is that I am smiling more. I smile to strangers, I smile to the people who help me, I smile to my family, and that has lightened my load. So it's a small thing, but I share something like that, and you're going to find small things like that as well that really make a difference. So you're next.
I'm next. All right. We're going to do one more visualization, and quite frankly, it's kind of more of the same. Sometimes when we look at something from different angles, more stuff will come up, or we'll realize something that didn't happen in the previous visualization. So this one, I'm going to explain it to you briefly, and then we'll go to our eyes closed and I'll go through it. But what you're going to be doing is visualizing internally a fire. This is your fire, and it's the fire of your passion and purpose, the things that, like, your talents, they're all there in that fire, right? And so I'm going to lead you just through a visualization of looking into that fire within you, whether you have a burning passion for, or what is like, yeah, like, oh, that thing, that has my name on it, I really want to do that. And really just with a lot of curiosity, we're going to take some breaths and just look at that. And I want you to look for the big flames in there, which is going to be the things that jump right out at you, like, yes, that. But also you're going to look for these little sparks that might be coming up at the sides of this fire within you. And that's where we're going. Are you ready to jump into the fire? All right, so again, find your feet on the ground, sit bones, nestled into the chair. Again, acknowledging that Earth is here supporting you always, and your breath is always your guide, never failing. Your breath is always right there. And with your eyes closed, once again, take that journey inward, right to the center of your heart, where you know yourself and you know what you love. And in your heart now, let there be a vibrant fire of passion, excitement, joy, freedom. Breathe and look into your fire, not somebody else's. Look into your fire. Breathe there and notice the big flames. What are the things that call to you clearly in that fire? That draw you in, that light you up? As you breathe, also pay attention though on the perimeter of the fire. Might be little sparks that pop. Let them grab your attention and notice what that spark might be. Might not be so obvious, but yet it shows up. Relax your face, your mind, and keep looking into that fire with deep curiosity and ease. What are the flames? What are the sparks? Everything is possible. If everything is possible, what do you see in that fire? Take 5 more breaths, looking around, opening to something new. What did you miss? These next few breaths, the fire, stay there. Even as you return to this room, know that you can always come back to this place to know yourself, to see your own light, vibrant and powerful. Feet on the ground. When you're ready, you can flicker the eyes open. So we didn't necessarily have planned for journaling time right now, but why don't you all go ahead and take another 1 minute if something is brewing for you after that to write it down.
And I'm going to share with you one of the sparks that just came to me, which I have to laugh about. I had an opportunity to go to several graduations in June from people here who have graduated from high school or college. And in every case, I wrote a note in the graduation card that said, say yes. Say yes. When you have an opportunity, the answer should be yes, not no. Why did I take that personally? And that's the spark that came to me, is I need to say yes more about things that are important to me. And I wasn't doing that. So thank you for that. That was great.
And it's also okay to say no. Well, when we say no, we make an opportunity for a yes. Which is where, again, it's like, where am I doing something in obligation, or where am I doing something because I don't want to get out there and do that?
And I draw your attention to the quote on this screen, because we, as the doulas who came through together to talk about this one was really almost life-changing for us, because it says, what?
I forgot to read it to you. I'm so sorry. Yes,
all right.
this is amazing.
Our suppressing who we are to fit in is exhausting. It kills flow and creativity, and it also prevents genuine connections with others. And that's another thing I think many of us worry about, is probably the wrong word, but many of us think about fitting in versus being our genuine selves in those situations.
Yeah.
Flip my screen, please. Okay, to Kim's point though, it really is important to have some type of commitment and some type of understanding what's next. So we're going to do a little exercise here, and it's all about you creating some words that you're going to take away and live by. So what we want you to do is on the back of your sheet of paper or somewhere, I want you to identify 3 strengths of yours, your personal top 3 strengths that you are thinking about right now. What are they? And write them down. And then we're going to make an action plan around those 3 words. So off the top of your head, your 3 strengths.
And they don't have to be a character strength.
I know, whatever.
Whatever's calling out to you.
And with those three strengths, we're going to make a plan. This is an action plan. You're going to develop a power statement, a statement that defines you and helps you move forward. So power statements are things like we have here on the screen. It defines what you want to accomplish in life. It could reflect what you stand for, what your goals, what your values are, or it can and it will help you realize your strengths, your skills, your talents, your likes and dislikes. So I got a couple of examples up here, and then I'm going to ask you to pen your own personal power statement using these three words that you put on your sheet. So examples are, a power statement is to lead by example, personifying my values of kindness, forgiveness, compassion, empathy, and hard work. They use more than three words, but that's the example. Or it could be something like this: to provide health care and hope to the suffering and their loved ones. That's what I am going to go forward doing, and doing better and well. So take your three words and see if you can come up with a personal power statement that describes who you are and where you're going.
Another tip on these is just to put it into language that's not future oriented, it's now, like
Right.
I am, I do. I have a power statement here that says, I know the power of beauty and love. I craft my life every day from my heart and that energy. So make it into, I'm doing it now. So I do, or I am, or, yeah.
Again, it's a work in progress. You're going to do it now, and you can refine it in a little bit.
This isn't getting chiseled in stone
Right.
yet. That's later.
Would you move the slide? I'm going to share with you mine. I had three words that came up that I resonated with: hope, bravery, and zest. Although I always kid that hope is not a strategy, but came up as one of my good words. And so the power statement I created is, I had a long time to think about this, and I've been living this one for a while. I have the power to do and achieve anything I want in my life. I believe that. I have the ability to make the world a better place. I believe that as well, although that sounds pretty hard. No one can stop me from fulfilling my goals and purpose. I am lucky and grateful to wake up today for another opportunity to make a difference in the world. And I will be the best as I can today and never look back. And the never look back is important for me because I'm very imperfect. And if I want to think about the past and dwell on the things that I wish I had done better, it's not going to get me anywhere. I'm going to go forward. And that's what I'm looking to do. So that's kind of the statement I'm living by right now, and that's what we're urging all of you to do, is think about writing a statement that describes you, that you can remember and refer to when you might not be at your best self, but this will take you back.
And a suggestion with power statements is to write it on some index cards and put it like in places where you're going to see it, on the fridge, in the bathroom, in your car. Like really, write it on a bunch of index cards, and in a drawer you open a lot. Oh, there it is. These statements they are power. They have power when you use them and when you situate them so they really deeply enter your like subconscious mind, right? Like,
So to show you the difference between 30 and 70 for me, at 30 on my rear view mirror, I had, you can never be too rich or too thin. And I looked at it every single day, multiple times. So superficial, but still, it did make a difference because it reminded me of where I was going, what I was doing. So anyone have a question or want to share? We're coming to the end here. We've got just a couple more pieces of information we're going to share. Any comments? Anything? We have a little sharing slide.
We do.
Yes, you just have to move, you have to move my computer. We do have a sharing slide here.
Go ahead.
Thanks for sharing that.
Any thoughts? I mean, comments, criticisms, anything. We are open to learning here. And one of the things we really wanted to do and didn't get to it was to leave you with a some type of customer satisfaction survey so you could give us feedback. But I still encourage you to send feedback to Cook County Hire and
We
Kelly.
share it on. If you fill out our survey, we'll send it on.
Yeah, we'll send it on because we want to do this better and get better at it.
Yeah.
Okay, Suzanne.
Oh, you asked me to do my power statement?
Oh, you want to do your power statement? I'd love to hear it.
Well, does anybody want to share?
Yeah, we'll share power statements. That's a great idea.
Power statement.
I'll do mine, which is what I've been working on working with for a long time. I live my life in humility, love, and joy.
Oh, nice.
That's a good one.
That's nice. See how simple it can be and how powerful it can be? I mean, not simple, but short. That's what I meant. not
I like
simple.
it, that it's short.
Anybody else?
Margie online would like to share.
Okay, Margie, unmute. Margie?
Yes, how's that?
Good.
Okay. I love the love that permeates me, inside and outside. Breathing in, breathing out. I feel the vibration of my soul. That's it.
It's great.
Top that, people.
Yeah.
That's pretty beautiful. That's a pretty big hit. Yeah, nice. Suzanne, sure.
And Nancy.
Then
wants
Nancy
to
wants to share too.
Nancy.
Thank you.
Which is work in progress. So the gratitude and joy I feel reflects in my eyes back to the world.
Woo! Yes. Nice.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, mine's kind of similar to what I believe in love and compassion. And I believe that, that love and compassion is able to make a difference to me, my family, and to the people I meet. So I think there's love and compassion in all of this. Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. It's always such a learning. I love what you share with us. How we learn, and we really are interested in what you want to hear about more. That is really important because if we just make it up ourselves, we're not really, honoring your desires. So if you have any thoughts, I'll even take them now. We'll take them now. If you have any thoughts of what you want to hear more of, yes.
Well, wouldn't it be nice to have some follow-ups to this, where you can come back and you can share how things are going and talk about accountability, like
Right.
the next step.
So you're gonna come?
Maybe. It just seems like it lends itself to not just one time.
Well, one
You
of the
know?
things that we've been asked to do and has been asked of care partners, and it's really in our bailiwick, is a legacy project, because there's so many things you can do with legacy. And it's not just one thing where you're writing it down or whatever. And we've done this a while ago, but it's time to do it again. So I know that we'll be working on that probably. I do want to say that our next one in October, our next lunch and learn is going to be with Carrie Farmstead, who works with Compassion and Choices. And so that is what's working in the legislature now about dying with dignity with the help of physicians. So it's not been approved yet. So, and there's a lot of hoops to go through in order to die with dignity, when the pain is too great or whatever. So I think we'll learn more next month. It's October 18th from noon to 1 about that process. And there are many states that are now approving this.
What is it looking like in Minnesota?
The compassionate choices, I think that's what Carrie will tell us. I don't know. I mean, she is with she is in tune with the legislature, yeah. So she's on that, October 18th, 12 to noon. And also, next Thursday is September 28th, our Death Cafe. And it's not just about dying. It's not about just about dying, but also how we're going to, it is about dying, isn't it?
I don't know what to call it a death cafe. It's called death.
Just let me ramble on. Just let me ramble on. But it's a really great community of people coming to talk about all sorts of losses. So losses like people who are, their person had to go into a care center, or personal losses of all the kids have left for college and here I am. And
Anyone experiencing any form of grief.
there you go.
And anything at all around death, the topic of death and dying, anything.
Right, this Thursday, we're asking people to actually bring and maybe share some coping mechanisms.
Next Thursday.
Next Thursday, thank you. If you've had some experiences and you have a coping mechanism that works, we'd love you to share it, because we all go into these spirals, and how you come out of them is so individual. So someone might have a great coping skill, so we're asking for that too.
Right. So as you see, I need a lot of help. So that's why I have my sisters over here.
We meet at the hub.
We meet at the hub at 6 o'clock, 6 to 7. And if you're curious, come. There are treats. We wish we could serve wine. I bet we'd have a large group. But anyway, we'd love to see you. So come and check us out on October 18th.
No,
Oh, excuse me, September 18th.
September 28th.
Oh, it's September 28th. I'm sorry. It's right there. 6 to 7. And what was the other one? Oh, the one about
Compassion and choice.
Compassion
And that is in
choices.
October.
That's in October. Thank you for coming. It's always such a joy to see all of you.
There's one
And
more
what you
slide.
contribute. Oh, what's your thought?
Let's talk a little bit about us.
Talk about us, Suzanne.
Do you think I should look at the slide? What do you think?
Yeah.
So, what is an end-of-life doula? And it says here who we are. And also one of our doctors now is an end-of-life doula. I just want to let you know the new one. An end-of-life doula provides emotional and physical support, education about the dying process, preparation for what's to come, and guidance while people grieve. A doula wants to do as much as they possibly can to help facilitate what the person and their family need. And you can reach out to any of us for information or to request support. You don't have to be dying to reach out to us. In fact, it would probably be, it's really good as a head start, a legacy. And to find out, there's a lot of people don't know about the burial process here. I mean, it's just amazing. And what you need to have in place for your own well-being, and with a will and power of attorney and your health directives. So we go through that with you. I'm dead, what do I do now? So before you get to that point, I'm dead, what do I do now? We'd like to help you before that.
Suzanne, which of the doctors is
The new one, and I don't know her,
Dr. Hillman, and I don't remember her first name.
Dr. Hillman.
Hillman.
She's an end-of-life doula as well as a lot of other things. Yeah.
And our last slide is up.
Oh. I'm not looking at these slides. Anyway, this is really from the tiny Buddha. Live your life, take chances, run naked on the beach, be crazy. Don't wait, because right now is the oldest you've ever been and the youngest you'll ever be.
I like that.
Isn't that great? Which part, the naked on the beach?
No. The last sentence.
Thank you for being here. Any questions? Any questions? Oh, come on. I know you.
When's part 2?
Oh, good point. We'll
That's
figure it
it's
out.
legacy, for legacy really is the one that goes into that. Yeah, I think, so sign up for legacy.
When the word legacy gets used a lot, so make sure when you hear it from them, that's what they're talking
Yeah,
about.
we're not giving you a car. We're not talking about
What's the
cars.
legacy
So
program?
this what you just did is part of legacy.
Yes,
When we're working with people who are actually at end of life, we will often do something called a legacy project with them, which is what was something that you really loved, was really important to you, and we help the person craft a project that is kind of a revisitation and an affirming statement that they're leaving behind. So it might be something like writing letters to loved ones. If you were an artist, it might be collecting that into like an actual project or a book or a photo journal. It can be all different kinds of things, but it's identifying something with the person that they really feel a drive to say, here, this was what I loved, this is what I made. And you could do a whole bunch of them. It's not just need to be one project, right? But our idea is that we can start making our legacy projects at any time. So it doesn't need to be like, okay, you're at end of life, let's make a legacy project. So this is part of that. It's like, how am I living? Am I doing the things right now that are going to be that legacy project at some point in time? And you could start making your legacy project right now. There's no timeline on this thing. And I really passionately believe that actually the sooner the better. If we're really thinking about when I leave this earth in this lifetime, what do I want to be remembered for?
Mhm.
What do I want to have done? What is it that I want to have given? And you need to start doing that now, because your legacy is made by today and tomorrow and next week. Not that.
I'll give you a personal example of why this is something we should think more about that just happened in our lives. My daughter-in-law died 3.5 years ago and left a 9-year-old and a 12-year-old, my grandchildren. And the 9-year-old is now 12, and I was just out to visit them, and she said to me, you know, Grandma, I'm forgetting my mother. I don't remember. And had we thought, her mom thought about this, and now I'm thinking about this for my kid, to start creating stuff now, start leaving things in a box, start doing things that will help them if this ever happens to you, because this was an amazing thing, and no one would have ever guessed this was going to happen. So there are examples like that that can push you toward doing this. It did me.
there's an example that I experienced about someone who had a clay pot. It was like a crock pot cover. And this was being walked down the aisle at her funeral with her ashes in it. That was bizarre. This was a long time ago now, and nothing is bizarre, which is great, which I really appreciate. And it turned out that this particular vessel was the first pottery piece that her daughter had made for her. And that, I mean, after they put her in the columbarium with ashes, the pot remained in the center of the table. Whenever they got families together, whatever, how it came together, and Mom was there. You know, they could tell stories every time they saw this pot. So there's all sorts of stuff that can be done to remember. So that'll be part of the legacy.
Yeah.
So we will do that because people are asking again.
But again, this stuff that you started thinking about now is the stuff of your legacy. Yep. That's it. Like, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to be. This is how I want it to feel. That's the making of your legacy.